My name is Emily Cain. I am a very proud 2010 New Deal leader while I was a Maine state legislator. And now I am a senior advisor to the New Deal, working with Debbie and the amazing team at the New Deal on a strategic growth plan. The board, the advisory board of the New Deal is such a committed group, and several of them are here today. Board advisory members, raise your hand. It's Helen, Greg, there's many in the room. Right here, Mitch is in front. So they have brought me on. I just want to give you 2 minutes on what I'm doing, because I'm going to be reaching out to some of you. New Deal has now been around for 13 years. It has had immense impact. You heard Debbie this morning talking about the power of leaders, the power of ideas. Our strategy is that more people need to know what we do, right? More people need to know the power of the New Deal network so that we can, yes, raise more money from them to do even more and reach even more people. We need to help you tell your stories even more. And that's part of what we're going to talk about this afternoon with Ian and with Liz and with Karen. And I'm working on doing interviews. I've interviewed 20 members between the two boards already. And I'm going to be reaching out to some of you who are current or, like me, former elected leaders to have real conversations about what is the New Deal's potential for growth? And I'm going to thank you in advance for responding yes to me when I reach out to you to schedule those meetings. But this afternoon is really focused on this concept of authentic and effective communication. I would say if one theme has been developed already here today, it's that. Right? Whether we were talking about any of the incredible ideas about the environment or housing or food, or this morning, we thinking about the opportunities in 2024, authentic and effective communication was really the sort of other panelist on that big panel this morning. The good news is this afternoon, we're going to do a deep dive. The way this is going to go is first we're going to hear from our friend Ian Kahn, who is, of course, a communications consultant and coach for the New Deal. Many of you have worked with Ian. And then we're going to transition into a conversation that I'm going to have the privilege of moderating with Karen Finney and Liz Smith, who I'll tell you more about in a little bit. But now, it's funny, he doesn't really need an introduction because you know him, but I'm going to do it anyway to make him wait just 1 second. So Ian Kahn, our friend, is a media and communication coach specializing in virtual communication. How many of you in here have worked with Ian? I have. Great. How many of you loved it? Oh yeah, all of you. I knew that. And Ian, who you might have heard, was a professional actor for 25 years, and he's been on sabbatical, a very active sabbatical since 2019, when he was brought on by Debbie for the New Deal to work with these leaders who I know, because he tells me, inspire him so much every single day. He also works with the New Dems in the House of Representatives. He works with Global Win, and he works with other political leaders and business leaders as private clients as well, while continuing his work with the New Deal. I've been lucky to now call Ian my friend because of this work. Let me turn the microphone over to him now to share some thoughts on effective and authentic communication. Ian.
Is this on? Great. Thank you, everybody. Looking out here, and I'm seeing so many friends, and it's quite wonderful. It's wonderful to see you all in person. First, I want to take an opportunity to thank you, Emily, but also to thank Debbie Cox-Bolton for inviting me to go on sabbatical from acting. And I would also like to thank Helen Milby for helping drive everything that I've been doing over the course of these many years. You know, when I was an actor for 25 years, and when I took this sabbatical from acting, now that we brought that up, I had a lot of actor friends who said, can I ask you a question? How do you spend time with actors for 25 years who are awesome people, and now you're working with political leaders who are essentially liars? And what I said is, actually, they're not at all. They're quite wonderful. They're just confused a little bit on how to share who they are. So here's what I'll share. Political leaders tend to struggle with an idea of projection. They put up an idea of what it is that they think, that we think, will make us more likable, more appealing, more electable. But the problem is that's exactly why people think that political leaders aren't honest. They don't know what it is, but they can read that there's something that isn't necessarily authentic in what they're sharing. So when you get into an interview or a debate and you've got your projection up and something happens that makes you nervous, that projection is going to slip. And then you spend the rest of that interview or debate just trying to get the projection back into place. And that's what people read. What I've been able to do with so many people, Lacey Beatty, Elizabeth Parker, Hunchofsky, John Mitchell, all of you, is get rid of that projection completely. So we can come from our authentic self. Now, what does that mean? Everyone's going to talk about this today. Authentic communication. Here's what I've learned so far about authentic communication. It's about sharing your vulnerability. I'm standing here in front of all of you lovely people, and I'm a little nervous. That's true. I'm going to let you see that. And in letting you see that, you actually see me. Which that makes you, in seeing me, connect to me more. We as human beings are vulnerable. If we look at what happened in war, people die. People's feelings get hurt. We're vulnerable. This projection idea is, I'm not vulnerable. I'm strong. I'm smart. We're not. We're nervous. We're kind of scared. Pete Buttigieg was supposed to be here this morning. He's the best. Liz Smith. He's the best. And the reason he's the best, not just because he was a New Deal leader, which is pretty awesome that he was a New Deal leader, but also because he doesn't try to pretend to be something that he's not. And that's really what it's all about, whether it's Kristen McCarthy-Vahey, Andrea McClellan, Zabe Smathers, gave me the best line in the history of, I'm not going to tell that story. But how do we get to that vulnerability? And it's through certain exercises that we do in the room. Something called conscious breathing that we work on. When you get to vulnerability, it's scary. Right, Elena? Yeah. But when we take that moment, it's a little bit like going in the ocean. You know when you go in the ocean, I grew up in Long Beach, Long Island, and you walk into the ocean and you kind of get your feet wet and it's cold. And you keep stepping forward. And you say, all right, now I'm going to let my knees get wet. God, it's cold. It's so cold. I'm going to hold this projection in place. And you know that as soon as you go into that water, it's going to be fine. But until you go into that water, you're going to be cold. The trick is to dive under that water. Let them see who you are. And the trick is, as Debbie Cox Bolton says to me all the time, she's like, you know, it's just easier to just be me instead of some idea of who we are. And what it gives you the opportunity to do, Dorsey appears. What it gives you the opportunity to do is to be yourself and let them see you. Because here's what I've learned about New Deal leaders. The more I see you, the more I like you. The more your constituents see you through life, the more they're going to like you. They won't like this. They're not going to like this. They're going to go, there's the liar. But if you allow them to see this, then you connect. And in this horrible, 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 horrible time for our country, we're being challenged in every direction, internationally, inter-party. We need to find people who are willing to share themselves, to take that risk, to dive into that water. Then we can maybe do the healing that Debbie was talking about. need it. The more I see you, the more I like you. Hunchowski, Natalia Mecca, Laura Cass. Too many to name. If I didn't name you, it's just because I didn't see it. Moreau Weinberger. You guys are my people, and I'm honored to be able to do this work with you every day. I hope you could take a little something away, and the idea is this. Let this go. Let them see you, John. Because then they're going to love you and you're going to grow. There are governors in this room. Not that what you're doing now isn't everything, because it is. It's everything. There's so much potential and so much actuality in this room. I love the New Deal. I love you people, and I'm so honored that I got a chance to share a little bit with you today. And if I haven't seen you in my room, I'll see you soon. Thank you.